shit, Sarah. All day. Hell yeah.
Arm wrestling's about to take place.
Yeah.
Event coming up on April 23rd. We got the Louisiana State Championships organized by Jon Breda and Matthew Chop. Of course, Italia ArmWrestling Promotions is promoting the event. And we set a couple good super matches, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on them. So we got Jon Breda. He's going to be pulling Jordan Sill, left hand, best of 6. So I know you have experience with both athletes, and I just wanted to get your outtake of that.
Well, consider Jon Breda never beat me left, and Jordan Sill did. But I when it comes to left, I'm a Jon Breda. I think Jon might pull it out. It's going to depend how he handles Jordan's move. Jordan likes to go high and roll it out. I think Jonathan can. He's got, he works with Herman Stevens, so he's going to work on some angles. It is a very good match, and I'm gonna love seeing it. But I might lean a little bit towards Jonathan.
Okay. Now we got second matchup. We got Jordan Sill pulling Austin McGraw, right hand, best of 5.
Austin McGraw. I don't know enough about Austin. I've heard him, and I know he's pretty good, but I really can't give an opinion on it. But I'd probably have to lean towards Jordan. Jordan's one, he's had ups and downs in arm wrestling. If he pulls the way he did and Austin McGraw pulls the way I did, he'll beat him. So, I definitely got to go with Jordan until somebody, beat him at that weight class, right-handed.
Yeah, Jordan is a beast, dude. He definitely puts in the work.
Yeah, definitely.
Then we got a left-hand match. We got Carl Stanley, also known as Superman from Florida. He's going to be pulling Corey the Gorilla West. Left hand, best of 5.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good match. Man, I like both of them. I like Carl. I played around with Corey over at Mike's a couple of months back. That's a big, big boy.
Yeah, 440 pounds plus. We didn't even have a scale that could weigh him. He'd break all our scales.
If Carl gets to where Carl needs to go, Carl will beat him.
Yeah, Carl is a very strong left hand, and Carl is on a mission. He's been training really hard these last 2 years. I seen him over at the Olympia in Orlando, and he put on a really good show over there. So he's looking to really test himself, and he feels very confident that he could beat Corey that day. So
I think if his mindset is right and everything's in place for Carl, I think Carl can get him left-handed. But like I said, that's a lot of beef to come flying around.
Definitely is. So the other match we got set up is we got Krasimir come in from Bulgaria, and he's going to be pulling Doug Allen, left hand, best of 5. Do you have any experience pulling Krasi?
No, but I think you might see me because I might want to watch that match.
Oh, wow. Nice.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah. Doug Allen, again, he's one of these, has ups and downs. He's got a very fast hit. But Krasi has great endurance. I know when I watched him pull Marcio, Krasi seemed to fade faster than Marcio did. When Marcio got to one win. And there again, that travel. Oh, I would be going with reputation on what I hear about Krasi to pick Krasimir.
What weight is Krasimir around? Do you have any idea?
I believe from what I heard in the 230, 240 range, somewhere's in there.
Okay. And I've heard, I haven't talked to Doug himself, but I think I've heard some rumors that Doug's somewhere around like 250 mark right now. So he's definitely up there in weight right now.
Yeah. Yeah. If Doug's weight's way up and his hits are good, I mean, that could go either way. Because I don't know either one good enough. I've just seen Krasi pull. I pulled Doug Allen, but it's been, man, how many years ago? And you just don't know the changes people have made. How much has he really been putting into it? So, I'm not really good at predicting unless I actually see these guys on a regular basis. And that's the problem, I think, with COVID. Everybody wants, they want your input on matches, but some of these guys haven't pulled in 2 years.
Yeah, and a lot of change in 2 years, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can go up and down. I mean, in 42 years of arm wrestling, my career's gone like this. People got wins when I'm down here only because of certain reasons. But then when I put my game back up, then I get good wins. So, it's a sport that doesn't pay a great deal. You don't get a whole, well, now with social media, that definitely helps keeps the interest. But, like back in my early years, there wasn't enough to keep your interest. So you'd die out once in a while. And then all of a sudden, somebody like Yukon Jack or GNC would come in and then it'd peak again. And then it'd fizzle out. Well, now with social media and all of you with different YouTube channels, it's keeping the fire going in a lot of guys. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes back, how hard people train to try to put on a good show. So Krasi and Doug Allen's that'll be an interesting match.
How do you feel about the whole social media going on with all the super matches now? And in the last 2 years, I've seen like a real big uptick in super matches. Seems like that's the way arm wrestling is going these days rather than a tournament. How do you feel about that switch?
Super matches are good to a point. I like the whole concept because I've always I pull tournaments, pull super matches, etc. Now, I think some of these guys that are only pulling super matches and they only pull like 2 a year, but then they want to be claimed number one. I don't know, because see, I'm used to Jon Breda, Ron Bath, Tim Bresnan. Some of these guys, I mean, John would go pull a super match overseas one week, and a few weeks later, he's in Tahoe pulling a tournament. Where some of these guys, won't name names, are just practicing for 6 months to pull one guy and eating pancakes. But he don't pull no tournament. But yet social media's got him. And granted, we know who I'm talking about, Devin. He is very good. He is great. But it would be nice to see these guys pull a tournament because it'll show how much versatility does the man have from pulling one style and 10 minutes having to pull a different style. How much endurance do you have from the guy you lost to first? I don't think it would really slow Devin down or Michael Todd down. Mike's pulled a couple of tournaments lately. But yeah, I like the mix and then picking out who's number one. And social media has taken a few of these guys just as super matches.
Let me ask you, Ron, how do we go, me coming from a promoter's background, how do we get all the big names to show up at a tournament these days? What is the key?
No, some of them have too much pride to go to a tournament nowadays.
So it's more of an ego thing. They don't want to lose on social media and everybody see it.
I think some of them would want to all be paid just to go, just to show up. And then they would want prize money at the tournament. It would cost a promoter a hell of a lot of money. I'm not going unless you give me my $5,000 to get there, and then I want $10,000 if I win. And yeah, well, if you do that for 10 or 15 guys, you better have a good bank account. And then it might go up. I mean, it'd be a hell of a tournament. And then it's going to be luck of the draw. But
that's where we kind of got to find a balance in this sport, and I find we haven't found that yet. We got a lot of these organizations paying big money for these athletes to come for super matches and all, but it's also very hard for these promoters to actually turn a profit with after spending all this much money on expenses, getting everybody there. And so, a lot of time these promoters are just paying out of their pocket, and
Yep.
I don't know how long that's going to last for.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is a very tough, and I think that's what's always been the hindrance of the sport. We get fresh money in until they see it's hard to keep a profit going for their advertising, and then after a few years, what is it, 3 to 5 years? If you're not seeing a profit on your investment, you start to shake it off, and I think we've seen that in quite a few of them. Yeah, pay-per-view, arm bets, all these I think are definitely pluses. Social media, I think, are definitely helping the sport. I think the social media event in that aspect is a big plus because it is getting the name recognition out there a lot. But it would just be nice to see some of these guys pull more than once or twice a year. And that could be just my old school where, we used to do tournaments and everything, every couple of weeks. But the sport is transitioning. It's in a growing stage right now, and it's going to be curious to see where it ends up. You're always going to have tournaments, but how are we going to judge who's number one, top 10? So that's why I don't get too involved with the rankings. It's a lot of opinion. If you're pulling in the sport a long time, you know who the top guys are. So
that is one of my goals. So I've been doing a lot of the big super matches and all that for the last year and a half. But I want to find new avenues for us. I want to go a new direction, and I'm trying to figure out how we could put together a big tournament and kind of get everybody back to pulling and involved in all that. So that is one of the goals for Italia ArmWrestling Promotions in 2022.
I think if you had a big tournament, you'd have to put something in the bracket system, figure out which ranking system is pretty dang close, and then have them seated, like the top 4, top 8, seated away from each other, and then run a tournament, or luck of the draw. Luck of the draw, you can say, oh, it's luck of the draw, you got to go. But I've watched the top 3 competitors be in the top bracket, while somebody who should be a 4th or lower be in the bottom, and yet he ends up 2nd.
Wow.
And I think some of these tournaments you can do some rankings and you can do some seeding. But there again, it's going to be opinionated. Some people will like it, some won't. But I think whatever we do in life, some people aren't going to like it.
Yeah, you're always going to have critics no matter what.
Yeah.
So I just want to get on to our main event match. We got Krasimir pulling Corey West, right hand, best of 5.
I got to go with Corey.
You say that?
Because I might not do something if Krasie wins. But no, I don't know. I haven't seen Krasie pull great. I know he's good, but I felt Corey's right hand, and I know he's training hard with Mike. Corey's got a whole lot. I don't think it would have taken Corey much training to get to the point of beating Todd. He's so big. I think in a little while he'll be too strong for Todd. Todd's side pressure was much more. Corey works his side pressure a little bit more. That all that meat is just going to be too much, my opinion. But
it's an interesting match because both of them are coming off loss to Toddzilla. I believe Krasie went against Toddzilla 2 years ago, and then Corey went against Toddzilla. It was about 7-8 months ago at my event in Lindale, Texas.
Yep.
So this one's gonna be a good one. I'm really curious to see is the weight gonna make a big difference? Krasimir, you said, was probably around like 230 right now. And Corey West, I get the updates every week. I think he's somewhere in the 430s right now, and probably going to be up over 440 time of the event.
Down to how hard they're training. I mean, at 450 pounds, as strong and as big as Corey is, if he increases his strength much, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to beat him. I don't know about number 1, but I tell you, I grabbed up with his hand. That's a lot of beef. And granted, the day when I pulled him, it was only 3 days after I did deadlifts and stuff, so I wasn't 100%. But at the same time, you can get a rough idea on how big and how strong they are.
When was the last time you were pulling with Corey? How long ago was that?
We went over to Mike's, it wasn't too long before we went to, what was it, mid-January?
Okay.
Yeah, 1st of January. Or no, December. It was December, right before Christmas.
Okay. And Corey was at 100% then, or
idea what he was. I really couldn't tell you. But I know he felt strong to me then. So, but it'll be interesting to see that match.
I know Corey's last match when he went against Toddzilla, he didn't get all the table time that he wanted. And I think Monster Michael Todd was actually on his tour around the United States, and that being Corey's main training partner, so he was lacking a lot of table time, and he said that he believes that really affected him. So this time he's hitting a lot more table time. I think he's doing once or twice a week. He's got a couple other guys that he's training with. So I'm expecting going to be a lot more endurance out of him this match, and I think he's going to be a lot stronger, if that's even possible.
I got to agree with you because Mike added another training regiment, more of a side pressure with a big handle, more like what Todd does. I know he's got that hooked up, and he was working that right before he went to East versus West. But like I said, I think East versus West, I think Mike trying something different in a tournament, I think messed with him a little bit. But yeah, so I got to go with Corey. I think Mike's going to have him pretty much ready.
I hope you come for that one. I hope I get to meet you that day in person over there. That would be great.
I know there's quite a bit going on that same weekend or that same time frame. But when I heard Krasimir was coming there, I told Andrew we might go. I don't know if she wants to go down to the bayou. I told her we'll go as long as she doesn't start talking with some southern draw.
Yeah, we'd love to have you guys over. And of course, we're renting a big house over there. We're going to do a big after party and after poll. So it's going to be a lot of fun also. Would love to have you a part of that also.
All right. I'll keep it in mind. Pretty much good. I just appreciate all you're doing for the sport. It's always great having new blood, new ideas, new drive. All the matches and stuff you're promoting. Been something me and Angie both have talked about. But we will make it to some of your events, and don't be surprised we don't show up in April.
Thank you for the kind words, Ron. That means a lot coming from a legend like yourself. Also want to shout out your shirt, brother. I love that shirt. Is that from Voskin's company?
Yeah, Angie bought this for me because she knows who the legend is. Yes.
That's arm wrestling apparel from Vosgin. If you guys haven't checked it out already, get over to his Facebook page. You guys could order that. Really cool shirt, and definitely the perfect person to be wearing it.
Appreciate it. Thanks.